Hi Aquarius, and welcome to Carol's Universe Tarot Readings, Tarot Reading from the Heart. So this is your September 2015 Tarot monthly forecast. I'm just going to shuffle the cards and see what's coming up for you in the month of September. So as usual, I'll shuffle the cards and I'll pick two cards from the top to serve as your general energy. One card will be picked from the bottom to serve as either the overall advice for you for the month or the overall theme, dependent on what's coming up. And the 8 cards in the middle will serve as your events, energies to observe for the month. Okay, so I'm just going to meditate a moment on this. So Universe, Spirit, Lord, Angels, please can you help the Aquarians? Please show me what's coming in for those born underneath the zodiac sign of the astrological sign of Aquarius. That's sun, rising and moon signs. Please show me. Aquarius, September 2015. Aquarius, September 2015. What is coming in for Aquarius, September 2015? Aquarius, September 2015. 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 Show me. Okay, so I've meditated on the cards. I'm just going to split them into 3, Aquarius. And I'm going to bring them back together. I'm going to take 1 card from the bottom. We don't know what that one is yet. 2 from the top. And a further 8 in the middle to serve as the events that potentially could be taking place. I always get kind of a little bit nervous and excited at this part because I don't even know what the cards are. Okay, interesting. A very interesting set of cards, Aquarius. Okay, a very, very interesting set. Ooh, where do I start with this reading? Because I think for September there is going to be some confusion maybe over where you want to kind of go or how you want to, a direction that you want to take, because I feel that some of you guys might be stuck, and I would say probably to be on your guard about something. Okay, it's really funny with some of these readings that I'm doing lately, but it does show being stuck for some reason for some of you guys. Let's start off with the general energy, because this is a very complex reading, I think, to be honest with you. And I get the feeling that you need to kind of this is a transitional period for some of you guys. You're going to need to go through some stuff to kind of get to the other side. That's what I'm feeling here, okay? In the general energy, we've got the Knight of Wands, and we've also got the Moon card. Now, you guys know that I'm an intuitive reader, okay? I learned from textbooks, from literature on the internet, from watching other readers, that type of thing. But at the end of the day, the baseline for me is that I use my own intuition to judge what I feel is going on, okay? I feel that your peace is being disturbed for some reason. You know, I want to come to you guys with really positive readings, and I always, whenever I get a reading that I feel might be a bit negative, I always try to turn it into a positive, because I think that's important, okay? I don't want to give negative readings on YouTube, okay? But the tarot is what it is. And when it presents you with something, you've got to say, you've got to call it as it is, okay? You know, there's no point in me sitting here and saying, oh, this is coming in and that is coming in, when, you know, and it's going to be all flowers and light, because that's not how life is. Life is ups and downs, and sometimes you get good days, and sometimes you get bad, sometimes you get bad months, sometimes you get good months. It's just the way life rolls, okay? For some of you, this reading will apply. For some of you, it won't apply. That's the whole purpose of a general reading. If you come for a personal reading, you'll get a far more personal, in-depth view of your situation. It's as simple as that. Knight of Wands in the Moon. Did I show you the Moon card, guys? I feel that the energy for September, guys, is wanting to make a move with something, but feeling that you are, I feel for some of you guys, you're kind of beholden to something. That's how it seems to me in a way. The Knight of Wands is a card about movement. It's a card about travel. It can infer home moves. It can infer changes, like changes maybe in a work department, or it's represented by the ones are represented, as you know, by fire, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Okay, that's what they're represented by, and it's the fire, it's the passion, it's the energy, it's drive. That's what the ones are. It's to do with creativity, it's to do with vision, it's to do with movement. Looking at the Moon card next door to it, this says to me, with the Knight of Wands, that if this Knight of Wands represents someone to you, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, it doesn't have to be those zodiac signs, but it can be someone with the energy of the Knight of Wands, someone who is, whenever I look at the Knight of Wands, he represents to me someone who only acts on his passions. Okay, he's not as thoughtful as the Knight of Pentacles. Okay, the Knight of Pentacles is my favourite knight within the tarot, because I know that he'll be reliable. The Knight of Wands I don't particularly see as somebody who is reliable. This is someone who rushes in some of the time without even thinking about it, okay? He just acts on his loins. He's very sexually driven. The Moon is also a very sexually driven card, okay? And it is funny, through this reading, I am seeing a lot of kind of sexual drive going on here, okay? So I feel that if the Knight of Wands for some of you guys during September represents someone, I feel that you need to be, I just feel that you need to kind of be aware, or there needs to be some awareness of this person's motives. All right, because we've got a couple of cards sitting side by side that I'm a little bit dubious about, to be honest with you. They are sitting side by side, okay? It could the two cards that I'm looking at, besides this general energy, could either represent two people, or it could represent somebody trying to steal your power, or trying to kind of take something from you, okay? But I feel the Knight of Wands, yeah, on the whole, just as a general card, represents movement. As I've said, if it represents someone to you, male or female, I would be dubious about their energy. I would be dubious about their motives, because the Moon card is a card of anxiety, and it can be a card of deception. It can be a card of secrets, stuff being hidden from you, okay, that doesn't come out into the light, okay. This could also, to me, represent the Knight of Wands has his back to the Moon card, okay? So this is like, for me, maybe it's a show and tell thing, okay? Maybe it's a case of something being hidden that suddenly is revealed in September. That's how I would read these two cards together, personally, okay? The Knight of Wands shows, but the Moon conceals. So I feel that for September, the general energy is self-awareness. You need to be self-aware of your situation, self-aware of the people around you, in order to kind of know what direction to take, because the Knight of Wands is also about direction. But the Moon card keeps you from taking that direction. The Moon card to me suggests this could also be a player. Could definitely be a player, because the Moon card has a lot of female energy around it. A lot of rivalry. There can also be jealousies within this. I'm seeing a lot of jealousy going on within this reading too. Okay, so this could be a situation. I'm getting a situation where maybe there is a lot of jealousy around some of you guys. Okay. Maybe there's a fight over a man or something like that. But I'm getting all sorts of things coming to me through this reading. One is what direction to take, maybe some confusion over that. Another thing is maybe things that are hidden coming to light in September. One is another thing that's coming to me is being aware of any deceptions going on, or not sort of taking things at face value, because you're kind of beholden to an idea. We'll bring all this reading together as we go along, guys, okay? I'm just getting my bearings with it because I'm looking intently at these cards, okay? We have the Death card as the overall advice stroke theme for the month. The Death card represents change, and it's sometimes unwelcome change, but it's necessary change, okay? This represents endings and new beginnings, okay? So I feel that it's almost like the cards are saying if you want change, you need to kind of release yourself from something, okay? Maybe the Knight of Wands is releasing himself from the Moon card, okay? Maybe the Knight of Wands is the energy that is driving itself out of the anxiety. The Moon card can also be about depression. So maybe some of you guys are making a move out of depression in September. That's a good way to look at it, though. A very good way. So maybe this is a case of, with the Death card, that there is a transition going on. You know, I'm getting kind of, for some of you guys, it might have been a time where you felt for a few months or a few weeks where you have felt suppressed. And the Moon card is often about repressed feelings. It's about your shadow self. Okay, it's about suppressing stuff. But the Knight of Wands doesn't suppress. The Knight of Wands rides out in a blaze of glory, if you like, because it's fire. So maybe you guys are coming out of your shadow self. Maybe you guys are coming out of this time of repression in September. And let's go along that line. Let's go along that line. Okay, let's go along for the general energy, because that feels, it's really weird. All the stuff that I've said before, take it on board. But when I've just spoken about it like that, it made me feel good. It made me feel very good, because it just suddenly felt like that to me feels good to think of it that way. Okay, if it's another way for you, then let me know, because I've given you various scenarios what this could be. But I feel that when we get the overall theme or the overall advice, it really has got to match up with the general energy. Some of you guys might be looking to leave a relationship that has been very suppressive, very repressive, very kind of burdensome. And that in itself is depression. So I do feel that you guys are looking to kind of, even though the Knight of Wands doesn't represent your zodiac sign, it can certainly represent your energy. So maybe some of you guys are looking to you've got a spurt of kind of energy coming up. Remember, the Moon card suppresses, but the Wands are expressive. So maybe you're coming out of time where you felt that you were dumbed down, or you felt that you were locked down with something. Maybe you internalized a lot of stuff, and now kind of you're trying to release it. And the release would certainly go in with the Death card as your overall advice, to release stuff that no longer serves you. So maybe you guys are releasing stuff in September that no longer serves you, that is no longer of any use to you. old feelings, anxiety, depression, sadness. I feel that there is a transition with this death card. If this is the advice, then this is saying that you are going to be making a transition now, okay? There is change coming up for you. But a lot of this is going to be down to you. The 8 cards that came up, the first 2 are the High Priestess and the Devil card. Let me just pick up one of the cards that's fallen on the floor. Okay. Now, it's funny with the High Priestess because she is dropping cards everywhere. Sorry, guys. The High Priestess is one of my favourite cards within the tarot because she's not the most kind of expressive character within the tarot. She's not at all. But the one thing I like about the High Priestess is that she is quite a controlled character, and she is she relies on her intuition and her inner knowing. She doesn't say much because she doesn't need to say anything. She's just zen. She's just there. She just bees. You know what I mean? She's kind of like just really. She just knows. You know, she doesn't need to be flash about anything. She doesn't need to be showy. She just needs to kind of. She just knows. And she relies on that inner knowledge to guide her way around the world, through the world. She relies on her spirituality to take her wherever she wants to go. She doesn't need to, you know, she's not egotistical, okay? She's not egotistical. She doesn't need to rely on anybody else for her own values. She values herself as an individual. But I feel that with the Devil, it's almost like these cards are saying you're not. In September, it's going to be a case of not kind of fully relying on this intuition, on this knowledge, because we have this Devil card, and the Devil card means being chained to something, okay? How can you let your intuition flow freely when you are chained? How do you do that? How do you allow yourself to feel liberated? How do you allow yourself to rely on your own spirituality and your own inner sense of knowing and your own inner sense of worth when you are giving your worth to the world, when you are expecting validation from the world or from someone, when you are allowing yourself to be controlled? So it's almost like these 2 cards are saying that there is a blockage for some of you guys in September to releasing this thing. And this is why we have the Death card coming up as your overall advice. This is why we've got the Knight of Wands riding out of the moon for the energy, because you want change. You want to move out of whatever it is that's been holding you back. You want to move out of the shadows. In the moon card, these dogs are in the shadows. They're howling out for answers. They're still kind of stuck in a certain stronghold, strangehold. They're relying on somebody else to give them their food, their worth. But the Knight of Wands, if I was to look at him as a character, and the positive side of his character is that he relies on his energy to take him forward. He relies on his passions to take him forward. And he doesn't really rely on anybody else to take him forward. He just sort of goes with what he feels and what he envisions. He goes for his passions. He's a traveller. He moves. So I feel that you guys will be wanting to move, but you're still chained to something, and you're not allowing yourself and your inner wisdom to really shine. You're not you're not trusting in the universe because you're too attached to this Devil card, to the materialism, to the showiness of the world, if that makes sense to you guys. So again, in these 2 cards, it's almost like the universe is saying you need to release yourself. Don't be afraid to depend on you. Don't be afraid to release yourself from something that doesn't work for you. Okay, to release yourself from an addiction, for example. Okay. This devil card is also a little minx. Okay. Whenever I've seen the devil in readings, sometimes this can infer someone who is no good. Okay, so this could be somebody behind the scenes who is controlling everything, and even trying to have control over you. I see some of you guys as being this high priestess within the reading. And it's funny because we have next the Seven of Swords. And the Magician. Now, the swords represent your sign because you are air. So maybe this is a case of that the cards are saying that you're robbing yourself. You're doing yourself a disservice. You're at a disadvantage. And the Magician is all about power, about manifestation. You have all the tools you need. All the tools you need to create what you want to create, Aquarius. To do what you want to do. But somewhere along the line, there is a case of self-sabotage going on, I feel, for some of you guys. So you stop the transition from happening. This might be a lack of self-belief, I feel, with these two cards, the Seven of Swords and the Magician. The Seven of Swords talks about deceit, deceptions. Okay. It can be about being quick-witted. So maybe some of you guys are aware of this situation here where you know that you need to move. And you know that you need to kind of try and take yourself out of the darkness. I see both cards, the Seven of Swords and the Magician, as being self-aware. You're aware of what you're doing. This guy on the Seven of Swords runs off with five of the swords in broad daylight, and he's looking back with a smirk on his face. Like, haha, I did it. You know? But I also see that this guy on the Seven of Swords is looking at the Magician. And in a way, the High Priestess and the Magician are both kind of the same people sometimes for me. Because they both have power. They both have spiritual power. They're both kind of magical characters within the tarot for me. But they're different in that the High Priestess conceals and the Magician shows. The Devil and the Seven of Swords in the middle now are kind of the same people as well. They both rob somebody of their freedom. They both take. They both try and leave something or someone at a disadvantage. So all through this reading, I'm seeing release or wanting release, but feeling that something or someone is taking your power away. And this is why I feel the Death card comes up, because it's a transition that you guys need. This is why I see the Knight of Wands and the Moon come up, because it's riding out of that kind of stronghold, that thing that is keeping you suppressed and keeping you kind of under the shadows, in the shadows. It is a month off. I really strongly feel with this reading that it's a month of self-evaluation. This Seven of Swords and also the Magician can be tricksters, along with the Devil. So maybe some of you guys have a lot of jealousy going on around you, or a lot of adversaries going on around you. I also see this in this card here, the Seven of Wands. Whenever I look at these wands, this guy is fighting off ideas, somebody else's ideas, people who are staunch in what they believe. This guy is fighting them off. He's not on level footing though, but he's still standing his ground. So I do feel that this is a month off for you, Aquarius, having to fight off people who are trying to steal your power, trying to steal your strength, because they know that you're strong and they don't like it. They're trying to keep you chained. I see that people are trying to steal your power because I've got the Devil card here next to the High Priestess. The High Priestess is a very powerful character within the tarot. And the Devil is very powerful. But the only thing that gives this Devil his power are the people that he has chained. The Seven of Swords looks across at the Magician. He's taking something. He's taking his thoughts and he's taking his ideas. And he's trying to strip them away from the Magician. Because he knows that without thoughts and ideas, all the Magician has is practicality. But he doesn't have the wisdom to manifest what he wants. So it's almost like the person in the Seven of Swords is trying to break down this Magician's strength. The strength always starts within a person with their thoughts. Without thoughts, what can we do? Without thoughts, you can't build a car, you can't design a new car, you can't design a new building, you can't design new clothing, you can't build something, you can't build a business, you can't, do you see what I mean? You can't create without first having the thought. The thought and then the emotion follow. It's the emotion that drives the thought into the manifestation. Without thought, we'd just be a mess, a mental mess, because we wouldn't have direction. So through this reading, I'm seeing someone or something that is trying to steal your power. It's trying to keep you chained to an old way of being, an old way of thinking, or just completely trying to take your confidence away. That's what I was getting at. It's almost like for some of you guys, your confidence is being stripped. But the Death card is telling you to stay strong and stand strong, because transition is coming. Change is coming for you. It's an uncomfortable process to go through, but it's a necessary one. We have the Queen of Cups here. The Queen of Cups I see as, again, a counterpart to the High Priestess. Because she's more of the High Priestess isn't so much an emotional card. It's a card simply about being at one with yourself and just knowing who you are. The Queen of Cups is far more emotional because she is a very compassionate, loving woman. She's a nurturer. She's a kind lady. She's also very knowing. There is strength in her emotion. There is strength in her inner wisdom. She's also a water sign. But I do see this High Priestess and the Queen of Cups as being kind of one and the same person in a way. Both are very wise characters, and both are very kind of clairvoyant characters as well. So they're very much in touch with otherworldliness. They're very much in touch with the universe. I really strongly feel with this reading, the universe is saying that you need to trust in your own knowing, trust in your own spiritualities, trust in the universe, trust in God, trust in angels, because there is something trying to drag you into some form of a drama. And I feel that there is some drama going on for some of you guys, probably even now. The last two cards we have are the Five of Pentacles. This is a card about loss. It is a card about being out in the cold. It is a card about a lack of support. And then we have the Two of Pentacles, weighing something up, weighing something practical up. trying to make a choice on something. I mean, for some of you guys, if we were just to look at the two cards on their own at the bottom, to me it would suggest maybe having to be a far more kind of responsible around your money, because Five of Pentacles can be loss of money, and Two of Pentacles is having to juggle money. So it can be that. So for some of you guys, this reading could be about patience. Having to be patient. Sorry, I need to take my cardigan off. I'm very hot. Around a situation. The High Priestess is patient. The Queen of Cups is patient. But I see this reading more as taking practical steps to release yourself from something that isn't working for you in September, Aquarius. I see it as a reading where something or someone or a situation is trying to steal your power. There is probably an ending of something coming in. Okay, because we do have this Death card. We also have the Five of Pentacles. Can infer loss, suffering, that type of thing, but it is for the greater good. Because this card here, the Two of Pentacles, not only suggests to me balancing stuff, but it's also working stuff out. What is going to be to the best advantage for me? How can this serve me in the long run? I feel in September, Aquarius, you're going to be riding out of a storm, okay? It is a month of self-awareness. And it is a month of transition. But the transition can only come if you allow it to come. Don't be afraid of the changes. If you've been feeling depressed or anything like that, then I feel that it'll be a month of releasing that. And it might be a little bit of a hard slog, because this Five of Pentacles for me can be releasing yourself from something. Now, the tarot is very, very kind of, what's the word? It's a very kind of, very layered system, okay? You can't just go on what you see. You've got to build everything up together. If any of you guys have been fighting against something, then these cards are saying to me you need to stop fighting against it and just let the universe take you where it needs to take you, no matter how uncomfortable that journey might be. Okay? So just to recap quickly on the reading, we have the Knight of Wands and the Moon card. The Knight of Wands I'm looking at was riding out of this situation here. This could suggest a man who is hot-tailing it from quarrelling women, as far as I'm concerned. It can also be a rush of excitement, a rush of kind of inspiration that takes you out of a depressive stage in your life, which is why we have the Death card here. Transition, change. I feel September, some of you guys aren't going to be allowing your natural kind of knowingness, intuition to unfold because you're still chained to something. This could be an unhealthy relationship, for example. Someone who's trying to keep you locked down, trying to control you. To me, when I look at the Seven of Swords, the guy in the Seven of Swords, and he's looking back at the Magician and he's running off, this suggests to me trying to steal someone's thoughts, trying to steal their power. Power is always in your thoughts. So trying to kind of leave you at a disadvantage. With the Five of Pentacles directly underneath, this suggests loss. Being at a disadvantage. So two cards I'm looking at here about disadvantage. But two cards I'm also looking at here about empowerment, the Magician and the Two of Pentacles. The Two of Pentacles for me suggests that the power is in your hand to make choices and to make changes. So it's almost like these four cards are saying, don't let anybody take your power, because the power lies with you. Don't let anybody kind of try and break you down, play mind games with you, that type of thing. The power is with you. Again, the High Priestess and the Queen of Cups, the power is with you. The Seven of Wands, the power is with you. Don't let anybody try and control you in September. The Devil card, the Seven of Swords and the Five of Pentacles. Control and loss. If you allow things to control you, you lose out. But if you have the inner knowledge and confidence and wisdom to know that you're going to be fine and that you are actually the one in control, you will win the day, because we see you being the one in control in the High Priestess, the Queen of Cups and the Seven of Wands. And also the Magician. So if you want change in September, if you want to come out of a situation that I feel, for some of you guys, I'm getting a lot of control here, has been quite controlling for you, then you need to kind of start the wheels in motion, because transition starts with you and how you actually feel. Okay, that is your reading, Aquarius, for the month of September 2015. I would like to say thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you on your next reading. Take care.